I had one lady who put this out and was looking for some advice. We've done some research and learned that the statute of limitations for legal actions on a debt if you reside in Ontario is 2 years. Is that right?
That's correct.
So if a debt that has been incurred and I don't pay that back in 2 years,
right,
it's wiped out?
It's not wiped out. This is the way it works. You think of it as a clock. The 2-year clock begins to run on the date of your last payment.
Okay.
Now, the statute of limitations is not relevant for all debts. It's only relevant with respect to unsecured consumer debt. So it wouldn't apply to student loans. It wouldn't apply to monies owing to the government. Okay, so only certain types of debt. So the clock starts to run on the date of your last payment. Once the 2-year period ends, then your debt is not extinguished. It doesn't go poof. What happens is, if your creditor were to sue you after that 2-year period has expired, then you can, if you are sued, you can file a defense, plead the expiry of Ontario's 2-year statute of limitations as a full and complete defense, and you would win. But if you are sued, and as a general rule, a creditor would almost never sue you after the 2 years, but if they did, you would have to file a defense. Otherwise, they would get a judgment against you.
Oh. Now, this woman went on to say, we've also seen some references to situations that would reset the statute.
Right. And that
so is that if you make a payment?
Correct.
Then the 2 years starts from that payment date.
Correct. There's two things that a consumer can do to restart the 2-year clock. One is to make a partial payment. The other one is to make a written acknowledgement of the debt. Now, if you get a call from a collector, from a collection agency or your creditor, and they say, well, you owe the money, and you were to say, geez, I lost my job, I don't have the money, I want to pay you back. That is not a written acknowledgement of the debt. That does not restart the clock. However, if you get a call from the collection agency and you feel bad about it, if you write them a letter and say, I'm sorry, I know I owe the money, then that would restart the clock.
Then that resets the clock from the time that letter was initiated.
So an acknowledgement must be in writing in order to restart the clock.
You see, I didn't even know about that 2 years.
I think it's also important to understand that although after 2 years the creditor would have a hard time gaining a judgment against you, your credit could still be negatively impacted for up to 5 years after the limitation period, for a total of 7 years in Ontario as well.
Okay.
So a lot of consumers do decide to still address their debt problems after the 2-year limitation period has run out in order to fix their credit rating, essentially, or in those trade lines, have them closed off.